ever just, I don't know, it's been a week. I'll start with that. I haven't been sleeping really well, and I find that when I don't get enough sleep, I get snacky. So I don't know if you get this way, but I do, and I'm tired and it's late, but I'm like, I just can't shake that craving of just needing something like sweet. So when this happens to me, I try really, really hard to make good choices, okay? I think we all probably do that. Or we have good intentions, maybe not. Maybe you go all out and you have the chips and the bars and the whatever. But for me, I try to just keep things on hand that I can just quickly grab, and it satisfies that sweet tooth, but yet you still are kind of adding some nutrition in there, okay? So tonight I'm going to make the Power Up Protein energy balls, and these are so simple to make. They're so good, and they just really hit the spot. And I don't mind, I don't feel so bad when I, eat them, because they're not that bad. I mean, they have, some pretty decent things in them. And the other good part about it is that your kids will eat them too, and they're really, really good. So this recipe that I'm doing tonight actually makes 40, but I cut it in half because I don't really need to have 40 of them. I mean, so I'm going to cut it back to 20. So everything I'm using tonight is going to make 20. Okay, so 20 protein balls. Oh, I don't know. I've got this new green tea, and I'm not in love with it. It's got a weird taste to it. It's got something like, just a second. It's this stuff. I don't know if any of you have heard of this. Traditional medicinals, organic green tea with toasted rice. I think that's the part I'm not really loving. It's just got like a weird nutty taste to it. Anyway, it'll do. It'll do for now. I just needed something hot and just something soothing, okay? Let's put it that way. I'm gonna get started. So let's get started with this recipe. So the first thing that we're going to need is a cup of oats. So I am gonna use my prep bowls, my mini prep bowls, to measure. If you don't have a set of these, they come in a set of 4, and they are so wonderful for so many things you won't even believe. I use them to put pudding servings in. They have measure cup amounts on them too, so you can use them as a measuring cup. And that's often what I'll do. They clean up really easy. They're glass. Anyway, they're great. So first thing we need is a cup of oats. So we will get that. So I just use quick oats. I would say just use the quick oats for this. You're not going to want the large flake necessarily. They might be a little too, I don't know, I'm going to use up the rest of this bag. They might be, I think with the large flake or the rolled oats, they'd be a little bit too, I don't know, chewy maybe. So I would just stick with the quick oats. They're a lot smaller cut, and they just work better. I actually use these for mostly everything. I don't really, I don't use the large flake for much of anything. Maybe an apple crumble or apple crisp or something like that. Okay, so to the top of this, whoops, I'm making a mess here. To the top of this cup is a cup. So we're gonna dump that in. So there's our cup of oats. We're going to add a half a cup of chocolate chips. This was an Epicure exclusive that they had last year. These are the Belgian milk chocolate. Oh my gosh, you guys, if these ever come back again, you need to have these. It's a huge, you get a huge bag of them. Like this is full, was full. And I mean, you can use them for everything. Cookies, energy balls, cakes, whatever. So you just get a ton of them and it's just so nice. Like, and the flavor's amazing because they're Belgian. So they're really, really good flavor. So we need a half a cup of these. I'll just use this. So the half a cup is a little below that line there. You probably can't see that, but I can, so that's good. I guess that's the main thing. Whoops, my goodness. Okay, I'm making a mess here tonight. That just tells me I need sleep. Okay, so let's do half a cup. So there's about a half a cup right there. Okay, so still got some of those left. Oh my gosh, I hope they come back because I'm definitely getting a bag of them. So we'll add in a half a cup. This is what I love about this too, is you can add everything right in to the, it's just like a one bowl fixing, so it's great. Now we need half a cup of the protein powder. So this is the Power Up Protein by Epicure. This is a really great protein. I prefer to use it in foods, smoothies. You can add it to cereals. You can bake with it. So it's really nice that way. It is a vegetable. It's made from a vegetable protein, so it's made from pea protein, and so it's vegan blend, and really has a great flavor. And pretty high, like per scoop it's like 20 grams of protein, so it's pretty good. It's a little below what I would want for, like, if you're doing weight training or something like that to build lean muscle mass. I would prefer to use a protein that was isolate and a little bit more. I usually use you know, protein from dairy, so dairy sourced, and just a little higher protein content. But this is ideal and great flavored, so I love having this on hand. Again, for the kids, they can grab it, and just for cooking and making things like this, because it's still protein and it's still good. You're still going to get benefits from it, and it helps to keep you satisfied. So now I haven't opened this yet. I'm going to grab the scissors. I think I'll just, instead of tearing this, I'm just going to cut it across. There we go. And, oh great, it has a scoop. So, but we're going to use, we're going to need a half a cup of this anyway. So again, I'm going to use my bowl again. Oh, that smells good. And I'm going to just fill this up until I get a half a cup, which is right there. Actually, maybe a little less. Okay, there we go. So we got a half a cup of the protein there. That's gonna go in there. So another great thing about making these energy bites, they keep you satisfied. There's lots of healthy fats. So the peanut butter, which we're gonna add here in a bit. So healthy fats and protein source is what keeps you satisfied and keeps you feeling full longer. So when you have a little snack like this, you're getting a lot of benefit out of it as well. So you see what I mean? You see where I'm thinking, where I'm going with this? Like, you get all the chocolate chip and the goodies, but you also get that nutritional side of it too. So that's the kind of things that you want to try to have on hand, and especially if you're trying to, you know, follow a fitness plan or something like that, or you just want to simply just stay healthy and eat well. This is a good way to do that. So I'm going to add all the dry ingredients first. That way, it also calls for a 1/3 cup of shredded coconut. So I don't know, I'm not usually a coconut fan, but this was good in there, and I did enjoy it last time. So I'm going to add it in. And let me see if I have, oh, I can't see. I'm gonna grab my other measure. One moment. I will be right with you. I'm gonna grab my other measure for this, if I can find it. Where the heck is that? Oh, come on. Oh, here we go. It's already in the sink. Oh no, that's not it. Let's see. All right, so there we go. So I'm gonna use my 1/3 of a cup, just to get a really good accurate measure here. And we will dump 1/3 of a cup of this coconut in. And this is the unsweetened desiccated coconut. So again, just a nice healthy blend. I don't want to add too much because the reason that I'm careful about measuring, especially with the dry ingredients, is because you don't want it to be so, they're too dry. So if you add too much, you know, if you over add the dry ingredients, you may end up, you know, it's hard to form the balls that way. So there's our coconut. Now we're going to add in a 1/2 cup of peanut butter. So I'm just going to continue to use this. And so I use the all natural peanut butter. I just prefer it. It doesn't have any hydrogenated oil in it. And it's actually runnier. I really love the flavor. I don't find much difference, to be honest. And there is like there's quite a bit less sugar in this. There's only like 1 gram compared to other peanut butter, which I think they add, let me see, just out of curiosity, because I do have, I'd have to look. No, I guess the sugar's the same. It's just the hydrogenated oils that are really different, are the difference. And so to me, hydrogenated oil, that's not a good fat. So I just stick with the peanut oil, okay? Just stick with the peanut oil and you'll be fine. So we're gonna need a 1/2 cup of that. And so I'm gonna just use this spoon and I'm gonna spoon it into here again. And this is kind of where your liquid is going to come from and the moisture in this recipe. So we want to make sure that we measure in enough that you're going to be able to get enough stickiness in this mixture to form the balls. So I even go like a little bit over on the liquid. Not too much, but just to make sure that we have a good amount there. All right, so there's the peanut butter. And now we're just going to add this in. So I'm just going to scrape it in now that it's measured. All right. There we go. So that's in there. Then we're going to add in 1/3 of a cup of honey. So I just use, liquid honey, whatever. This is no name. Honey is honey to me, I think. So we're going to do 1/3 of a cup of that, and I'm just going to squeeze this in here. I'm so glad to be using this up, actually, because I don't know if this happens to you, but I can't tell you how many times that I've bought honey and it just ends up crystallizing or something after a while. Like if you don't use it right up, I don't know what happens to it. It just starts to change and then you can't even use it. So it drives me crazy. And I love it. It's just that I don't, unless I really plan some things, I don't use it that often. So there's our 1/3 of a cup, and I'm just going to pour that in here. We can just use that same spoon. Get the rest of it out. Here comes my special puppy. He's special today because it's National Doggy Day. So he's having a great day, doing as usual. That's what he likes to do. So take care of his yard, take care of his family, you know. Okay, so there's the honey. And then the last thing we're gonna add is a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I have that right here. Actually, I'm gonna use up this other bottle that I had. So a teaspoon of that. So I'm using my Epicure 4-in-1 measuring spoon. Love this thing. Use it all the time. There we go. There's that. So I'm just gonna dump a little bit more because I really love vanilla. I love it, I love it, I love it. There we go. So that's probably good for that. Okay, what am I doing? All right. And then all we need to do is we're gonna mix this all up. I'm gonna take a sip of my tea. It's growing on me, but it's not my favorite. So I'm not gonna recommend that to anybody. It's not Epicure, so I can't wait to actually get back to my Epicure tea. They make that Christmas tea. It's a black tea, and I don't think it's available currently, but it usually comes out fall, Christmas time, Christmas tea. And it's so delicious, and it's just got a really good flavor. So I'm gonna take my spatula here, and so you can see I'm mixing this all around. We're gonna mix it all up. I hope I have enough liquid in here. I might not, but the trick is we're gonna pop this in the fridge for 30 minutes and let it, it's not like it sweats, which sounds weird, but it just, the moisture, it just gets a lot of, the moisture starts to lift from being refrigerated. So that's why you chill it. It also helps to just, you know, it gives you better control too over, you know, forming the balls and things. So you know, really, it's an important step for that reason. So we've got everything all mashed here together. I think it's fine. I think we have enough liquid in here. So we got it right. So it should look like this and just really firm, but sticky, okay? So I'm gonna put the lid on this and I'm gonna pop it in the fridge for 30 minutes and I will meet you back here. Okay, so we're back. It's been a little over 30 minutes and so now this is chilled enough that we should be able to work with it to make some energy balls. All right, we're gonna do them about 1 inch diameter. So let me just grab my little scoop, if I can find it. There you are. I always use this because I like just to sort of gauge them and keep them roughly the same size. So I'm gonna store them in the produce savers. So these are also by Epicure. I love these because I use them for everything, not just produce. I rarely use them for produce. Actually, I use them to store a lot of different things in, desserts, tarts, energy balls. So they're just really great. And you can also layer them with this little tray that comes with it. So if you have something like tarts and you don't have enough, you have too many and you don't want them touching each other, this works great. So I'm just gonna, yeah, so this is pretty firm now. I might have to use a spoon, but, or I can probably just scrape with this. So I'm gonna just scoop out, oh, these are gonna be great. And yeah, they're nice and sticky, so they should roll really well. This is about the size, I would say. You just want it like a bite size, so, you know, not too big. And I'm just going to start putting them in here in the bottom to start. And this should make about 20, okay, which is a pretty good amount of a serving, or of a, yeah. So, but you can always double this up, or whatever you want to do. If you want to even go more than that, you can always double up the ingredients, and that way, you know, you can have make 60 if you want to. You really could. And what's great about them also, I should really just make the 40, because really you can freeze these. They freeze really, really well also. So if you wanted to make up a nice big batch, you could, and then have them, store them in the freezer, thaw them out, you know, as you want. And that way, you know, you always have them on hand. They're not something I don't think you could get sick of. I mean, seriously. And they're just so easy. Kids love them. Everybody, you know, they're healthy, you know, as healthy as can be for a chocolatey snack. And, you know, you get a lot of nutritional value in them, as I said earlier. So you really can't go wrong. All right. So I've got about, this is 5. I'm trying to sort of separate them a little bit in there. It doesn't really matter. I mean, they don't really stick together, so there's nothing runny on them or anything like that, so it's not a big deal. So we're just forming these up. All right, I'll keep going, and then I'll check back with you again in a few minutes. So that's it. These are all rolled up. I got 17 actually out of these. So if I would have gauged them a little better each one, I probably would have got the 20. Doesn't matter. We're not going to worry about it. So that is that. So that is the Power Up Protein Energy Balls. Great to have on hand. Have a look. They're so good, guys. Like, it's just great. These are they're just nice and chewy, and great with a cup of tea, cup of coffee, or not. Really, really good. Anyway, that concludes this episode. So I will talk to you all in the next one.